Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. Also, check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. And by the way, thanks to everyone who bought something from this website. And yeah, let's see what's happening with Cardano. And as you can see, today is another boring day. However, if you go on the 1 hour chart, it's actually very important to understand that this is still a 1-2 setup, and well, obviously this bigger structure could turn into a much bigger ABC down, and we could get another low which could put us at 73.8 cents. Keep in mind, if we break below this support zone right here, then we will most likely go lower, and the next support zone would be right here at 72 cents. However, I think if we go lower, then we will most likely get to about 68.5 cents to turn this structure into a much bigger ABC. And well, I'm not really, a fan of that, because if we drop to this extension, that's the last support level. So I would much rather, start the third wave right here of this 1-2 setup. I'm sorry, right here of this 1-2 setup, rather than get another low and just invalidate the 1-2 setup and then have, another, let's just say 1 week or 2 weeks of boring price action. So what we need to do right now is hopefully get a bounce. Now, if we do get a bounce, the next target is the 1618 of this 1-2 setup on the chart, and that is at 81 cents. We'll see if we get that or not. Keep in mind, we are not oversold on the 1 hour chart, meaning that we could actually get rejected over here at the moving average on the RSI, and then we could get another low, which could put us in the oversold territory, and that could put us maybe at the 618 again, or even at the 0.786 support level, and then we could bounce, and that could give us this third wave. Keep in mind, there's still a lot that we need to do, and well, obviously we're still working on 5 waves up. If you don't know what we're doing here, I'm not going to talk about the 1 hour chart for too long, because I talked about that yesterday. But basically what we are in right now is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and we are still working on the third wave right there. The target for that is around 93.5 cents. However, it will most likely overextend to the 1618 right here, which is at 97.3 cents. And well, after that we need to get a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and once we get these 5 waves up, I will be able to confirm that this low right here is in, and that we're heading in the third wave of the third wave. And the target for that is still at $3.50. And well, I don't know when that will happen. Like I said yesterday, I'm no longer gonna make timed predictions because I always get these wrong. However, what I'm not wrong about is the fact that, the structures are the exact same that we had in the previous cycle, meaning that even if we do, what we did right here a little bit later in this cycle, it does not mean that this right here will not happen. Of course, do not take this as financial advice, but I think with Bitcoin dominance as at 64%, it's very likely that Cardano still breaks its all-time highs. Probably soon. I'm not gonna say when, but it's probably gonna happen after Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down, and then it's still possible to top somewhere between $5 to $8. That has always been my prediction ever since we were down here, and that will stay my prediction. I've had this target zone on the chart for probably a year at this point. And well, actually, let's talk about the main third wave, because there's not much else to talk about. And the target for that obviously is not the $5 region, it's only the 1618 of this 1-2 setup, and that is at $1.81. Are we gonna, stop right there? I don't know. That will be the worst third wave in the world, because, it will look something like this, and well, this is not a good looking, move to the upside. So what I want to see is the third wave, overextend, maybe to the 200% extension or the 2.272 extension. But, the minimum target right now for the third wave of the third wave is the 1618 of this 1-2 setup here, meaning that the third wave kind of has to overextend to the 1618 over here, which is at $5.30, if we actually want to do what we did in the previous cycle right here. Now, is it possible to actually do what we did over here? Well, I want to take a look at this and I want to show you what was happening with the Bitcoin dominance chart before, Cardano actually broke above the trend line right here. And well, let's say right here, we were in December of 2020, Cardano was at like 21 cents. By the way, I talked about this already, but I'm going to talk about it again. When Cardano was at like 21 cents, Bitcoin dominance was exactly up here at about 73%, exactly at the 618 of the previous highs. And well, as you can see, after that we went down. Bitcoin dominance, during this drop, it dropped about, let's say, well, 34% or so. During that time, Cardano went from, this right here to, it went from like 20 cents all the way up to like $3 and let's say 10 cents. And during that time, like I said, Bitcoin dominance dropped about 34%. Right now, Cardano is at 75 cents, which is almost, 4 times the amount where it was right here. And right now, Bitcoin dominance is at 64%. And I think it's going to drop about 24% in this cycle, so not 34%. However, please do not forget, even if it only drops, like 24%, Cardano is already at 75 cents right now, meaning that we could actually get a cycle that's even better than what we had over here, just based on what's happening in the market and just based on what happened in the past. I mean, like I said, the last time Bitcoin dominance started breaking down, Cardano was at 20 cents and it went to like $3. Right now we're at 75 cents, so that's why I think that $8 is theoretically possible if we actually break down that much. And honestly, I think we will. I think we will just do what we did over here. We will most likely get a very big drop all of a sudden, and when we do, that's gonna scare a lot of people because, nobody's expecting this drop anymore. I mean, everybody, I think, has given up on Bitcoin dominance, except me, of course. And they've given up on Bitcoin dominance because it only went up for the past couple of years. However, this will not continue to happen, for another couple of years because that's not how charts work. Charts at some point have to cool off, and this will only happen after Ethereum wakes up. As you can see right now on the Ethereum chart, if you go, let's say, on the daily chart right now, as you can see, we got to the overbought territory and, we actually cooled off and, the price is still going sideways, which is actually good because we are going sideways above the bull market support band. And there's some resistance at the 200-day moving average, but once we break above this, I think the road to about $6,500 right here for the fifth wave move up will be very, very fast, and people are gonna miss it, of course, because people think that Ethereum is dead, even though back in the previous cycle over here, when Bitcoin dominance stopped, I think it was over here, Ethereum was at like $6,500, and then after that, we went like let's say almost $5,000. So, people are obviously blind and they obviously don't understand how cycles work, but that's okay because, if you are watching this video right now, you will know once Ethereum breaks its all-time highs, why it's breaking its all-time highs. You're not gonna be here like, hey, why is Ethereum going up? No, you're gonna see Ethereum going up and you'll be like, well, yeah, it's normal because Bitcoin dominance is dropping. So obviously, at some point, Bitcoin dominance needed to drop from this high right here. And well, the exact same thing will happen in this cycle like it did in the previous cycle. Of course, in the previous cycle, the chart was looking a bit different. Ethereum was still in an uptrend. However, it was still not above its previous 2018 all-time highs, as you can see. And it was still down like 50% from the highs. So this high was at like $1,400, and right here before Bitcoin dominance stopped, Ethereum was at like $6,500. Let me actually give you a date range and a price range just to see how much it went down. Let's see, it went down, so it was still down like 60% over here. And well, right now from the previous all-time high, if you take, let's say, the 2021 all-time high, we are down about 70%. Of course, if you take this low, now if you take this right here, we are only down like 50%. So we're still doing pretty good, and we're just waiting for Bitcoin to wake up and break its all-time highs. Well, it's already at all-time highs, but it's just cooling off, and this is normal. What we're doing right now, we also did it right here, and I talked about this, but basically Bitcoin will just chill above the bull market support band for a couple of days, maybe even weeks, like it did over here and like it did, you know, somewhere over here, and then it will have a big bounce. And well, the bounce is expected to put us at about $126,000 and maybe even $136,000 or $157,000. These are my targets before we get the summer drop, and we're still waiting for the cross on the bull market support band. And like I said, the summer drop does not have to happen right now. It could happen in July, it could even happen in August or in the first couple of weeks of September. So please do not wait for a summer drop just because we had one in the previous cycles. And I mean, that's all I have. I mean, I hope you enjoyed. There's not much else you need to know. I mean, if I say anything else, it's just going to be a repeat of what I said in the last couple of days. So I'm not going to do that. And I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts. And if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month, check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.